So from where we are, you can just expect sales back into the support zone right here. Yeah. Today, we are breaking down the dollar index, Euro USD, and GBP USD to identify where liquidity sits and what the higher time frame is telling us, and the levels I'm watching before the new trading week begins. Let's get into it. The first thing we can see here is that the dollar index has been ranging for almost a year now, or more than a year right now. And the first thing we can see that it seems that the market has broken out of this range. Now, what do I mean? Okay, so the first thing we can see is that we see that the market was a resistance at this zone right here. There was also a resistance at this zone right here, a resistance zone at this zone right here, and here, and a little bit further behind also. Let me check back so you can see that. All right. And now it seems that the market has broken that. If you look with our line chart, we can see that more clearly right now. Okay, and I'm going to draw a zone for references. So you can see it dates back all the way to 2023. Okay, now that we've referenced it, there are two things that can happen from here. The first is that the market grows from here. We continue to see the bullish market grow into the 170, 103s area. Okay. Or the second one is just that this was probably a fake out and continue lower. Now let's take the first scenario. For this first scenario to happen, we need to dive in lower. Okay, once we've dived in lower now, you can see that we have a trend right here. Okay, so you can just probably mark your trend line, connect the lows together and see what we can see here. Okay, so you can see that we are currently bouncing off of a trend line right here, and we can probably see an higher move right here. Okay, now if that does not happen, if you don't get a bullish confirmation, that's also fine. All right, now for us to get a bearish confirmation, we want to see market break this zone and retest this zone. Yeah. Okay, this is what we call a bearish breaker. Want to see market retest this zone. Probably this zone up here, but I prefer the zone below. That one makes me feel safer, if I must add. Okay, so those are the two scenarios, the bullish scenario and the bearish scenario. This is what we're looking for. All right. Now, since we have done that with dollar index, now let's see how that perspective translates into Euro USD. Now, moving into Euro USD, this is Euro USD. We did a weekly analysis last week. I'm going to put it in the description so you can check that one out also. Okay, what we said, let's go back into it, was that we wanted to see market break away from this zone to this zone right here. To understand this zone, you have to check the previous analysis in the description. Okay, and then for our bullish scenario is that you want to see market come back in this zone and go for an higher high. Okay, but now since we said that we are bullish on the dollar, that means the dollar should be going down. All right, so yeah, what we'll be looking for now are sales breaking this zone that we have right here. Okay, breaking this zone from where we are to this zone that's close to 200 pips. The 200 pip moves from where we are right now. to the zone right there. So that should be a lot of pips for somebody in a week. Okay, you can do a lot with 200 pips in a week. All right, so that is what we'll be looking for. Looking for sell confirmations right here. We'll go to the 4-hour time frame, and you can reset this chart here. So the market has is bouncing on the mid trend line. So just this one is actually now easy now. So what we'll do, we'll wait for the break from this and the retest to it. Okay, all these ones on lower time frames. Okay, and then we'll look for a sell. Look for a sell down the way to the 112s. Okay, from the 112s, we'll now be looking for our buy scenarios to be going upside. Okay, don't forget that we are also in the falling wedge, so everything still maps out the same. We are okay. Now with Euro USD mapped out, let's finish with the pound dollar and see whether two pairs are telling the same story. Now for the pound dollar, my favorite pair at the moment right now, okay, it tells us a different story. Okay, first of all, it shows us kind of like a bearish breaker that was happening around this zone. So it just shows us that we can probably look for sells also in this area right now. And also we can also note that there's a trend line that's been here. Okay, so you can notice the trend line has happened. It has been holding for multiple days now. There and right here, and right here also. It's finally where we are right now. Okay, however, we want to note something, that we have a support zone right here. So you can see I usually use line charts to find the support zone. Now you can see that this is a very, very crucial support zone, and market just broke out of it also. So you have to watch out for that. Okay. No, actually, we are actually on a broken support zone, which has turned resistance zone. Okay, so we are actually on a support zone. It hasn't broken out of the support zone. So we are on a support turned resistance zone right now. Okay, so we should actually be looking for sales where we are right now. We should actually be looking for sales where we are right now, except we break out of this zone here. Except we break out of this zone. So from where we are, you can just expect sales back into the support zone right here. Yeah. So now let's put all the pieces together. First of all, we say that we are looking for bullish confirmation on the DXY. Okay, if you are looking for bullish confirmation on the DXY, that means we are looking for bearish euro dollar and bearish pound dollar this coming week. Okay. Now, if this breakdown helps you prepare for the week ahead, I would prefer you consider subscribing. Every week we hunt for high probability setups, and we are using market structure, liquidity, and a disciplined execution. We are not predicting. All right. Now, remember that the market doesn't reward opinions; it rewards preparation. Until the next chart, stay patient, stay disciplined, and keep hunting pips.